Rangers in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Good evening and welcome to Graz in Austria. Our Rangers play Matchday 2 of the Europa League. The players are out on the pitch and the home fans here have unfurled a display of silver and green with a amazing tifo behind the goal to our right hand side, which depicts the team that beat Rangers here 2-0 in the Champions League in 2000. Rangers did of course win the reverse 5-0 in that campaign, but it was Sturm Graz who went through to the second group stage on that occasion. And the banner reads, "Come on boys, do it again." The home fans in good voice as Rangers come here on the back of a difficult start to the Europa League campaign after that rather meek loss at home to Genk. And of course it's been a difficult start in general for Russell Martin. Just 5 wins in 15 this season. But can they build on the very small bit of momentum they managed to get from Max Aaron's stoppage time winner against Livingston? Russell Martin spoke about it at length yesterday. He says that has to be what this team does now. And even then, some fans may not be convinced. The Rangers fans away to our left, some of them holding the banner, picture of Russell Martin's face with the red circle and the line through it. But it's been put away now as they find their voices to cheer on their team, who are looking to try and get through to the knockout stages of the Europa League for a 5th season in a row. They did have one season where they were in the Champions League, of course, which didn't go so well, but they have risen to the occasion time and time again in this competition over the years. Can this Rangers team channel that as Nico Raskin kicks off back to Jack Butland, who immediately goes direct up towards Yusuf Chermiti, who is the only change from the lineup that started the win over Livingston. Bojan Miovski dropping to the bench and Chermiti gives away the foul, and it will be a Sturm Graz free kick. And this is just Graz's 3rd home game of the season here at this particular stadium, which is their home, because they played their Champions League qualifier, as they did their full Champions League phase campaign last season at Klagenfurt, the stadium built for Euro 2008, because this doesn't meet the Champions League requirements. Back at home for the Europa League, and though it is only holds about 16,000 fans, it is tightly packed, especially behind the goal away to our right that unfurled the tifo, and the fans are making a lot of racket as it's fired forward by Sturm, who play a kind of midfield diamond, throw in on this near sides as James Tavernier comes across. Rangers yet to get a foot on the ball in the opening minute. Russell Martin, edge of his technical area, issuing instructions. James Tavernier asking for movement. Raskin drops in, he goes long down the line. Chermiti comes across, and that's a miscue at the back from Lavallee, the centre back, prodded infield by Chermiti, but Antman couldn't gather, and it's back to the goalkeeper who clears long. And here comes Malone battling with Suter, who flicks it out for a throw in. And the pitch, Stephen Thompson, not the best we've probably ever seen.
No, it was interesting just watching Antman slip there when a mistake was made with the Sturm Graz left back. The pitch does look really slippy. It is cutting up in areas. The ground staff are out after the warm-up, just patching wee bits together, so it's something to keep an eye on. Hopefully they've got the right footwear on. Yeah,
we were speaking to someone at Sturm Graz yesterday, said it was in good condition at the start of the season, but heavy rainfall has caused problems across Austria with the pitches, and that's a free kick to Rangers.
I think they're actually relaying it in the international break. I don't know if I made that up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's the council that owns the stadium, so right. I think they're trying their best.
I think that I heard it somewhere.
But yeah,
it's
certainly
not that bad.
No, I mean the Russell Martin and Conor Barron, who was speaking to the media yesterday as well, they weren't making any excuses about it after they did their traditional walkabout of the pitch yesterday when they arrived. Here's Antman just over halfway, drives down the right, and he slipped a pass into Nico Raskin, right hand side, low cross towards Chermiti, who makes the run to the near post but lost his footing, and the pitch really is cutting up as Tavernier takes a touch and then gets the return from Antman on the byline, flashes it across headed away at the near post by Sturm Graz, and it's out for a Rangers thrown on this near side. Positive play.
Yeah, it was decent down the right hand side. A wee give and go from Tavernier. Probably disappointed with the final ball in, just hitting the first man there. But you're right, I mean, when Chermiti and the centre half kind of were duelling for that ball that came in, a right bit of turf came up.
Yeah, it literally flew through the air. It was quite something as Tavernier throws it to Connor Barron. Gives it back to Barron, Tavernier, and then Ant-Man looking for Raskan, but it's intercepted by Iwu, and then he is tripped by Rangers Belgium international, and it is a free kick to Sturm Graz. As I said, played in the Champions League last season. In the league phase, won 2 games, beat RB Leipzig 1-0 and beat Bojan Miovski's Girona 1-0, but finished 30th out of 36 teams, so did okay for a club of their size and budget, but I think this is probably more their level, as it's played up over the top, and Malone is going after it, right hand side the Rangers box, and then he battles with Cornelius. The goal kick is given, and he was wanting a corner.
Yeah, I certainly thought it was a corner, but it's over on the far side from him. It was good movement from Malone, just going off the shoulder of Cornelius there.
Negoma, the left back, squeezes it up the line. Asgard is under a lot of pressure. Back to Cornelius it goes, edge of his own box, rolls it to John Suter, and ever present at the back for Rangers, then into the path of Tavernier, who's going to carry it forward up to halfway and away from one, infield to Ant-Man, and then back to John Suter. And Russell Martin says he does feel like since the humbling in Bruges they've struggled to get things back under control, but signs, you say, that the spirit is there and the willingness to work and run is returning. The fans want to see more than that.
Yeah, they want to see wins, they want to see results.
And Raskan scampering after a loose ball in midfield, doesn't get there, comes out to Chukwani. That's a brilliant dummy, and then goes past Tavernier. It's Boganovic on the left hand side, back up the line to Karic, who's got a dangerous left foot, the left back of Sturm Graz, into Kitishvili, their star man, and number 10, and then the inside pass is blocked by Ant-Man, throw in to Sturm Graz. Karic is walking forward, stealing a couple of yards. Chukwani shows. Karic is going to launch this into the penalty area. 5 minutes played, goalless in Graz. That's a weak throw-in, but that's an awful clearance, sliced, and then John Suter has to mop up for Rangers and hack it out on this near side. Another throw-in. Yeah,
it wasn't, I mean, for a long throw-in it wasn't particularly long, but I think it was Asgard just has a wild swipe at it, and luckily for Rangers it didn't come to anything. They're going to try it again, see if we can get a bit more distance in this one.
Karic has another goal. No. And it's a foul throw as well.
I've got to say, that's the last long throw
he jumped 2 feet off the
European
ground.
football. They just need to bin that off. That's just not happening, that long throw.
Yeah, he only jumped 2 feet off the ground and then didn't even get it very far at all. So yeah, we see plenty of them in the Scottish Premiership every week, and that was not in the same ballpark, so Rangers will get the throw in through Tavernier. Forwards, won by Lavallee, and into the box, Malone cuts it back, chance here, poor touch, and it's in. Sturm Graz at the front, Tommy Horvath sprints away to celebrate in front of the fans. It looked like he delayed too long, but he got his shot away, and Butland got a touch on it, but could do nothing to keep it out. And after only 7 minutes, it is Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0.
It's really poor defending from Rangers. They were just sleeping when the ball was played in. It was a lovely wee pass in behind John Suter. He couldn't make contact because he was in the box. Wrong side. I thought the player should have hit it first time. He goes with his square pass inside to Horvath, who takes a couple of steps to his right hand side. Should Butland have done better with the shot though? I mean, we don't have a monitor here, but it seemed to me that the shot was maybe kind of straight at him, and he gets a wrist to it or a hand to it, and it's spun up into the net. Really, really bad start for Rangers this.
Yeah, and it's the first real chance Sturm Graz have had up and about Rangers box, and it's just weak defending in the box. It broke to Malone, he laid it back, and Horvath eventually got it out his feet and got it on target. I've just seen a little replay here.
Yeah, it's a terrible error from Butland. I mean, it's John Suter sleeping as well. they're quick with the ball, Sturm Graz, but John Suter's out of position, asleep. He then can't make contact. I feel as though Jack Butland's got to do a lot better there.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, is he unsighted? But it's not the most powerful shot. It's in his direction. He sticks out the arms and it just almost hits off his forearm and goes into the corner of the net.
Yeah, he'll not be pleased with that.
Yeah, it's a shocking start for Rangers after 7 minutes, a goal down. And all the talk about building the momentum from Sunday's win over Livingston suddenly disappears, and the Rangers fans to our left behind the goal be left with a familiar sinking feeling as Aberdeen have gone 1-0 up in the Conference League against Shakhtar from the penalty spot. If you're tuning in and want to listen to that, it's over on Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds Digital Online here. It's Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0. Rangers coming down the left hand side. Gassama gets the byline, but he's got no space to work with, but he has played it off the defender, and Rangers have a corner. Yeah,
they just doubled up on him there. He had nowhere to go, and quite rightly just trying to play for the corner. Gets a deflection. It's going to be James Tavernier with the in-swinger.
Yeah, and they need something, Rangers. Set pieces paid off at the weekend. Can they make something of one here? Gassama is offering a short option, but Horvat has gone out to cover, and Tavernier raises the right arm and he puts it in, edge at 6 yard. It's a good leap from Cornelius, and he headed it down into the turf, and it just popped up for the goalkeeper Christensen. Decent chance though.
Yeah, the ball was really good into a really dangerous area right in the middle of the 6, and Cornelius, I felt as though he might have been climbing on the defender, but he was disappointed he didn't get a better connection with it. Good ball in from Tavernier though.
Yeah, exactly where you would want it. It was quite high and came down. Difficult one for defenders and goalkeeper to deal with. Asgard's back to Megoma, and then Cornelius. And the noise you can hear is the ultras behind the goal to our right, as the ball from deep from Barron for Antman, but it's too close to Lavalley, the centre back. Chukwani takes her under pressure from Raskan, gets it back from Karic and spins away from Antman, and then Lavalley clips it forward. It bounces off Tavernier and out for a Sturm Graz throw-in.
Yeah, there's not many people going to be beating Chukwani in a shoulder challenge tonight, I can tell you that.
He's a unit, isn't he?
Unbelievable.
Right. Big shoulders about him, and here's Boganovic making his first ever start for Sturm Graz this evening. The 21-year-old Austrian, not scored a goal for them either. He hasn't needed to so far. After 10, it's Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0 live on Sportsound. Ball shifted to the right hand side, driving run from Urman, swung in, Kitashvili went up, couldn't get there, drops though to Stankovic, and then it's booted away, and Barron, I think, was caught late, and it's a Rangers free kick in their own box.
Good play down the right from Derman, puts the cross in, and it was a difficult one for Stankovic because he was wanting to hit it first time, but it was just too far in front of him to go and hit it on the half volley, so he tries to take a touch and it skips through, he gives the foul away.
Yeah, Stankovic, the captain, he also scored a late winner like Rangers did against Livingston. Sturm Graz got one against Hartberg at the weekend to keep pace with Rapid Vienna at the top of the Austrian Bundesliga. It's Malone up against Tavernier on the left hand side of the Rangers box. Back to Chukwani, and he drives away from Raskan. Brilliant run from the midfielder, and that looked like it came off an arm of Tavernier. It was tucked into his body though. Play on. He was outside the box in any case. Kitishvili, left corner of the area, tries to squeeze a pass through a gap that wasn't really there, and Conor Barron intercepts and comes away with it, lays it to Antman, who pokes it in front of him, and Stankovic will just stroll over and intercept that and play it out for a throw-in. Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0 after 12.
Yeah, Sturm Graz could probably have made more of that situation. You feel it was slack play initially from Tavernier that gave the ball away, but they were trying to kind of force things in a very tight area there with Kitishvili trying to just kind of do too much on the ball, surrounded by players.
It was Jesper Karlsson who scored from the spot for Aberdeen as it breaks into midfield for Horvat. Now it's Kitishvili slipping it through to Boganovic with Butland to beat, and a brilliant save from the Rangers goalkeeper. Somewhat redeemed himself after a poor moment for Sturm Graz's opener. Did well there.
Really should be 2-0, to be honest with you. He had the square pass on as well. There's a player to his right hand side. If he'd lifted his head, probably okay to take the shot on it, but I think it was Antman who'd given the ball away. Oh no, was it Asgard who'd given the ball away initially? Really slack from Rangers, and lucky not to be 2-0 down. As I said, it was a decent stop in the end from Butland in a 1v1 situation, but it was kind of straight at him. He's got to either go across the keeper or hit it low in at his feet, or the other better option would have been just lifting his head and squaring it.
Yeah, I thought it's a free kick to Sturm Graz in their own half. I think Asgard went down as he was kind of looking to burst in behind, and then the referee just said, get to your feet, no foul. But then I would have thought there would have been a booking forthcoming, one or the other. Don't know whether it was a foul or not. Anyway, on we go, as Malone is clipped by Cornelius, but it's just a coming together, so the referee's happy with that, and John Suter has to retrieve it, and the Rangers end pretty full but not stowed out, which again I think is a marker of where they're at this season. I don't know how many European away games would be not sold out from a Rangers point of view.
Yeah, it certainly felt in and around the city here in Graz that there wasn't as many Rangers fans. Done a lot of these away European games and generally see them congregating, but not so much.
Tavernier back to Suter in his own half. Sir Martin asking for it to be played forward, and it is. A huge switch out to Gassama on the left hand side. Good pass, controlled by the winger, and he drives inside, then back outside. Brilliant from Gassama. He's into the area on the byline, clip to the back post. Chermiti off the crossbar, and now it breaks into the middle of the box, and it's hooked clear by Sturm Graz. What a chance that was for Yusuf Chermiti. Free kick given, and they're going to come back, and there's the player injured in the box for Sturm Graz, but golden opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, Gassama does ever so well. 2 or 3 wee chops, gets it onto his left foot, hangs one up at the back post, the sort of ball a striker absolutely loves. He's got a lot of time to kind of eye it up, does Chermiti. He gets up above the centre half, and then you're just thinking, hit the target. He doesn't, he hits the bar. I think there was a wee slight head knock in there as well when he made the header, but really should have scored that for me. Brilliant from Gassama.
Yeah, superb. That was sort of the form he showed in his first couple of games in the Champions League qualifiers for Rangers. Brilliant trickery and skill. Rangers free kick. They trail by 1-0 after 15 minutes against Sturm Graz. Tavernier free kick towards the right hand side, curls a decent ball in, headed down to the edge of the area to Kitishvili, who stayed calm, knocks it to Malone. Maurice Malone galloping up to the halfway line, pass into the feet of Horvat, the goal scorer, and he's looking for the return to Malone, finds him, run from Karic, but Malone holds on to it, goes back to Chukwuani, who is towering over Connor Barron, and tried his best to put him off, as it goes back to the defender Aiwu into Kitishvili. Sturm Graz, I say, in control on the scoreboard, 1-0 in front, but Rangers have had a couple of chances. Headers from Cornelius and Chermiti there off the bar, both from similar positions. Might have been the opportunities for Rangers to hit back in this first half. Ball forwards for Kitishvili, and it's dealt with by Rangers up to Chermiti. Slips it away, but you're looking,
I mean, he can't do anything else. The ball's coming up to him, and it's at above head height. He can't control it in his chest. He can't bring others into play. He's got to just flick it on, and of course there's nobody higher than him up in the pitch, so it just goes to Sturm Graz.
lovely touch from Kitishvili to Horvat in midfield as Sturm Graz move up towards the edge of the Rangers box. Urman on the right floats across the back post. Beganovic can't get there, and that'll be retrieved by Karic, but good work rate from Gassama to get back on this near side and make sure he ushers it out for a goal kick. 1-0 to Sturm Graz.
Yeah, he did well there, Gassama. Karic probably just taking a slightly heavier touch than he needed to. Gassama getting his body in and letting it run out for the goal kick to Rangers.
Yeah, Russell Martin going back towards the dugout. His opposite number, Jurgen Sommel, been in charge since November 2024. Actually made his Austria debut here in this stadium against Scotland in 2005. Kenny Miller and Gary O'Connor had Scotland 2-0 up before they were pegged back late on. Here is Sturm Graz coming forward, Chukwuani, and he's nudged by Raskan but just got the pass away. It's a good battle in that midfield area, two aggressive players. It goes back to Magoma and his clearance hits off Stankovic, and Rangers will accept the throw in line with the edge of their own box. Celtic beaten earlier in this competition by Braga at home. Rangers 1-0 down here, Aberdeen 1-0 up at the moment. Could do with
Yeah, thank goodness for Aberdeen.
Well, don't speak too soon.
Aye.
The coefficient taking a battering, you might say, as it's thrown up the line by Magoma, won by Chukwani, and then sent forwards. Cornelius is underneath it, under pressure from Malone, who then flicks it towards Boganovic, and then there's a slip from Antman, who really doesn't look like he does have the right boots on, because it's a really tough surface out there, and Karic has won it. Left hand side of the box, cross was a floater, and Rangers clear it only as far as Chukwani. Karic has a go near post for Boganovic, whose header's well off target.
Yeah, a couple of decent balls into the box from Karic. Second one there is a really difficult chance for Boganovic. Really tough angle for him. He just had to glance it, got too much on the header, but Sturm Graz looking the more dangerous side.
Yeah, it's interesting they're playing a kind of midfield diamond. You don't see that too often. As Chermiti was getting climbed all over there, and he looks at the referee and does get the free kick on halfway.
Got to be a foul. The guy was surfing him.
Yeah, all over his back. And that's a big night for Yusuf Chermiti, as it is all these Rangers players, because Bojan Miovski had a good goal scoring record in Europe for Aberdeen in the Conference League, albeit, but it was a tough group they had against Eintracht and HJK Helsinki and PAOK as well. So he's been brought in, and he has, let's be honest about it, no real pedigree of scoring goals for Sporting or Everton before his move here for big money in Rangers terms, as Chukwani drives at the Rangers defence, but it's a good tackle, and now Barron has it. Barron looking for a bit of support and finds it in the form of Asgard. Spoke yesterday, Conor Barron, about the fact he's had to be patient, looking to make the most of it, and here's Gassama, collects the ball in behind, and then he's into the box, chops back on the left foot, going towards the byline again, cuts back to the edge of the 6-yard box, and Chermiti loses his footing as he looked to open up and hit it. It's now with Magoma, corner of the area, sends it to the back post, and Raskan gets up so well for a little man. It goes behind for a Sturm Graz goal kick, and the Austrian champions lead by a 1-0.
Again, it's that man Gassama. I mean, everything that Rangers do that looks dangerous comes from him, terrorising the Sturm Graz defenders with his trickery and turns. Got to the byline, flashed the ball to the front post area. Chermiti was in the right area, gets contact with it, but I don't think the contact was particularly good. It wasn't that easy an opportunity to get good contact in the ball, but I'd be disappointed he didn't make more of that one. A couple of early opportunities for Chermiti though. Yeah,
it was a tight angle as well, in fairness to him.
Yeah.
I was by no means a sitter, but just always feels when you're a striker and you're maybe pressure on your shoulders to score and it's not happening for you, albeit he's not a great deal of minutes in his nascent Ibrox career. You just feel it sometimes doesn't fall for you. Headed out into the stand in front of us. Healthy crowds here at the Merkur-Arena. Holds around 16,000. Russell Martin looking to get the ball back on with a bit of urgency. Karic is ready to take it now. Throws it to Kutishvili. Nearly 50 caps for Georgia. Played at Euro 2024. Raskan into towards Asgard, who couldn't gather as it floated through the air towards him. Aiwu fires it into Horvat and then back to Lavallee. Big switch with the left foot from the centre back to the right hand side, and it's a good touch from Kutishvili, and then Horvat looks to return it to Kutishvili and then into the box. Rastankovic is unmarked, low cross, Malone with a touch, and it's hooked away eventually by Tavernier behind for a corner.
Well, the pass from Kutishvili is absolutely outstanding into the feet of Stankovic. He flashes it across the face of goal. John Suter does really well to get his body in front of Malone, but it's at the expense of the corner kick. Really good play again from Graz.
Yeah, someone at the club yesterday saying, I think a lot of people wondering why Kutishvili is still at Sturm Graz, the quality he has. Not a young player. Here comes a corner into the near post, not a good one. Raskan clears it comfortably. Yeah, they felt like they maybe at one stage could have got big money for him, but he's been here since 2018. Now 29 years old. Here he is, Kutishvili. Back to Lavallee, the Belgian. Strokes it forwards. First time flick for Boganovic, looking for Chukwani, but Tavernier comes across, plays it out for the throw. Still Tommy Horvat's goal after 7 minutes, the difference here in Graz. Barron intercepts and gives it to Suter, who takes a touch. Back to Barron. Fires it up towards Chermiti, who held it in, but there were 2 balls on the pitch. The referee blows the whistle. Sturm Graz winning their 4th and 5th Austrian Bundesliga titles in the last couple of seasons, breaking a 10-year dominance by Red Bull Salzburg, who won 10 in a row. Sturm Graz, of course, Max Johnson was here for those 2 seasons, won 3 trophies, 2 leagues and a cup. Just departed for Derby County. Here is Horvat, another tidy looking player. Kitishvili wins the throw-in off Barron on the far side. Rangers just struggling to get any consistent possession of the ball. Stankovic, the Sturm captain, up to Malone, who played it round the corner for Horvat to run onto, defended by Magoma. Throw in line with the edge of the Rangers box. 24 nearly played, 1-0 to the Austrians. Goes behind for a Rangers goal kick. And Gassama looks like the outlet for Rangers in this opening 24 minutes on the left hand side, much as Tunek did earlier for Celtic, but can't do it on their own. As Jack Butland, who I'm sure will have a few regrets about how Sturm Graz's opening goal came about, because he was positioned to make a save, got contact on it, couldn't prevent it going in. Did make a good save thereafter though, as Sturm Graz win it. Kitishvili edge of the box, chips it in towards Bogdanovic. Butland read it well, came off his line and won it, and he's been caught by the striker. Rangers free kick.
Yeah, it was slack play from Magoma. Ant-Man with a kind of Asgard with a kind of short pass back to him, or the difficult pass back to him. He gets the ball nicked off him, and then when it comes into the box, it's actually good goalkeeping from Butland. He's out sharp to get there before Bogdanovic. Don't know whether Bogdanovic just caught him there as he came out and got it, but free kick's been given anyway.
Butland looks for Tavernier, and Ant-Man can't keep it in.
So poor, you're just giving the ball straight back to Sturm Graz. I mean, it wasn't the worst ball from Jack Butland out here, but a kind of bit of confusion between Tavernier and Ant-Man. The ball runs out for the Sturm Graz throw-in.
Played long and over the top by Sturm Graz. Cornelius is there, side foots it back to Jack Butland. Malone closes him down, gets the pass away to Suter, blocked by Bogdanovic. Just looking at the Rangers team as well, there was a core of the team that have done so well in this competition, but when you actually look through the starting 11, there's not a great deal of European experience outside the obvious candidates like Tavernier. A lot of these players have played in England's Championship level, League One. A few maybe had a couple of appearances here and there, but not loads of experience in the Champions League, Europa League, or belatedly Conference League as well. As Asgard plays it out to Gassama in this Sturm Graz half. He's got 2 on him, and he goes in between them and finds Asgard out to Magoma. Now Barron opens up the pitch with his touch and then goes to Suter in the centre circle. Then Tavernier along the grass to Ant-Man. Ant-Man infield. Oliver Ant-Man, the Finland international, has not looked quite the player that he maybe looked like he might be for Rangers after his
debut.
Yes.
Well, what a debut it was.
Yeah, a couple of assists, and he looked lightning quick.
He's kind of flattered to deceive since then, it has to be said.
Rangers free kick though, fairly central, about halfway up Sturm Graz half, and set pieces along with Gassama's trickery on the left have been their best outlets so far as they try and find a leveller in this game. Sturm Graz 7 wins from 11 in all competitions this season, but they're not a side that score loads of goals. Got 2 strikers on the pitch, 1 goal between them in 15 appearances. They do have CD Yata on the bench, who's got 5 this season. They don't score a lot as Tavernier gets ready to take this free kick, launches it in with the right foot. It's a curling delivery. Iwu with a defensive clearance, and now Karic looks to break. His pass is under hit. Ant-Man collects it, and it's infield for Suter, who plays it back to Magoma in his own half, back to Tavernier in the centre circle. And he switches it out to Ant-Man, controls. He's up against the fullback. Karic comes infield, going laterally at the moment, and then runs into Chukwuani and manages to break for Raskan. Now it's with Tavernier. Barron back to Suter.
I don't know why Ant-Man wants to come in the pitch there. You receive the ball, you've got one full-back to take on. With your pace, you've got it. Knock it past him, you've got 30 yards to go into. He's driving in the pitch, comes into bodies. Nonsensical.
Yeah, well, just, I don't know if it's lacking confidence or what, but just dribbling into a crowded area, especially Sturm Graz playing with 4 in there. That's John Suter. Russell Martin urging his team to push up the defensive line. It's again played out to Gassam on the left touchline. He's got 2 on him instantly as Horvat comes across to help his defender. Urman is not really a natural right back by trade. He's covering for an injury to Arjan Malic, who's missed the last few games, and of course because Max Johnson was sold, not really replaced him in terms of numbers. So Urman's really a centre back, a good one at that. German under-21 international on loan from Bayer Leverkusen. Played in the Euros final in the summer there. They lost to England. And it's a throw into Sturm Graz over on the far side. We've played just about 29 minutes, and it's still Tommy Horvat's goal, which is the difference. Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0. Aberdeen still 1-0 up against Shakhtar. That's on BBC Radio Scotland Extra. Get that on BBC Sounds, on digital and online if you wish. Rangers 1-0 down in Austria as Kitishvili plays it forwards. Cornelius steps across, gets a foot in, wins it. Kitishvili darts to the touchline and picks it up. Rangers put it out for a throw-in. Sturm Graz keen to get on with things, bobbling about, and it comes into Horvat. Chance, good save from Butland. Snapshot from the angle. Butland got down low to his right to push it away. Stays 1-0.
Tell you what, that's a really important stop, that one. It was a good wee 1-2 on the right hand side, but Horvat, he cuts into the box. Really kind of a difficult angle for him, but takes on the shot, gets plenty behind it. Butland palming it away to safety. But yeah, I mean, the better chances are coming for Sturm Graz. As Butland had 2 decent enough saves to make. Rangers just that one really good chance, which was the Chermiti one from the Gassama cross at the back post.
Here's Telo Asgard, another one who's probably yet to convince.
Yeah,
in a Rangers jersey, as Gassama picks up, carries the ball forward, gives it to Raskan, who gets the return ball from Megoma, and now it's back to John Suter. Suter to Tavernier, halfway through Sturm territory. Ant-Man, he's 1-on-1 with Karic. Again, he's looking to come in the field.
I mean, it's a player that doesn't look like you're right, he's got no confidence. You receive that ball, go and take him on.
Yeah, he's not even really, we don't even know if he's a good defender, because
no, he's just taking the safe option, and that's what you do when you're lacking confidence.
Here's Gassama though on the other wing, different story. Dummies the cross, he's on the touchline, beats his man, gets to the byline, headed by Stankovic, and then it's bouncing about on the edge of the Sturm box. Rangers get it through Ant-Man, good touch from the winger, and then slips the pass to Chermiti, wide of goal, gets a shot on target. Comfortable enough save for Christensen.
Yeah, and brings the ball down really well, and it's a good run from Chermiti into out, creates the angle. The pass is good, but it's a difficult angle to get the shot away. He's got to hit it low across the goalkeeper, but as I said, it's tough to do, and he hits it straight at Christensen in the Sturm Graz goal.
Lovely from Horvat to flick it over his head and regather, fires up to Malone, and then Suter plays it, and it comes back off the Rangers defender, and Sturm Graz will get a corner, and the fans here rise to their feet.
Horvat's been good so far, impressed with him over on that right hand side. Important tackle that from John Suter, but it is at the expense of the corner. It's going to be an in-swing up.
And fans getting to their feet, and the home ends with anticipation here. 32 played, they lead by a goal to 0 and have a corner over on the far side here at the Merkur-Arena. Hands go up, curled in, and it's for Kitishvili, who gets a header from deep, and Butland's had to watch that one carefully, but he did it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether that's one they've worked on or not, but it was a big floaty cross towards the edge of the box. But if you're going to hang the ball up for somebody to header, it probably wouldn't be Kitishvili that you'd hang it up for. He gets a header on it, but it was so tame that it was very easy for Butland to just go and gather.
I mentioned Rangers, obviously, last season finished in the top 8 of this competition, despite some domestic troubles under Philippe Clement, although those at the moment seem to pale into insignificance. The what's going on thus far this season. And then after Clement departed, Barry Ferguson and Neil McCann and Billy Dodds steering them to the quarter-finals before bowing out to a good Athletic side. But this season it's an easier draw on paper for Rangers in the league phase. They're thus far one game and 33 minutes in, not making the most of it. Tavernier controls in his own half, but the referees stop play for Stankovic, who is caught. And Sturm Graz will be pretty happy with how things have gone. Rangers have had a few moments, but it's all really come from Gassama. Chermiti, the header off the bar, the best chance. He got up well, just needed to head it downwards. Easy for me to say.
You're about 6'2.5", 3. You'd have won that header.
Well, you certainly would have.
Yeah,
that was your bread and butter. That.
And I fancied it.
Back post cross, above the defender. Lavallee with a deep free kick over Stankovic. The Gomez header glanced out for a throw-in on the far side. 34 on the clock. And then Russell Martin with some thinking to do. Horvat, side-footed, Cornelius header out of the defence. And back to Karic and Lavallee. And it's a turn from Haiwu, who is then tripped by Chermiti. And it will be a Sturm Graz free kick just over halfway. And the game, just a wee bit of a lull in the last couple of minutes. Bojan Miovski pacing the technical area after doing a bit of a warm-up. The Rangers striker, I'll probably see him at some point this evening.
You'd see him tonight.
Played in the Champions League for Girona last season. That's a clever free kick wide for Kitishvili, and he prods it beyond Butland, and it's 2-0. What a brilliantly worked free kick from Sturm Graz and Otar Kitishvili, and it goes from bad to worse for Russell Martin and Rangers. It is Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0, and it's only 35 minutes on the clock in the Europa League.
Yeah, but before we get to the defending, the actual invention and quality of the free kick are absolutely superb. The pass, nobody was expecting a wee reverse low. Everybody was expecting a big long high one into the box. The movement from Kitishvili absolutely superb, and the finish sublime, dinking it past Jack Butland. But how can Rangers allow that to happen? Absolutely sleeping. Everybody's expecting the ball to come long in a diagonal. Nobody's switched on to the free kick. Let's be honest, I wasn't expecting it, you weren't expecting it, but you're out there on the pitch, you've got to be aware of these things. Way too easy, and it's a brilliant goal.
Well, I think Rangers are now waiting to see if VAR will bail them out.
No, he was miles on.
Yeah,
miles on.
It's a lovely finish, and we did say he was the danger man. It was such a big boost for Sturm Graz to have him back in the lineup. Goal stands, and we're underway again after missing the last couple of games after a family issue. Had to go back to Georgia. He's flown back over the weekend and back in training this week into the side, and it's a brilliant run and finish from the Georgia international, and Rangers are in all sorts of bother.
It was the timing of the run was superb, and they've obviously worked on it. Timing kept himself on side. The pass has to then be inch perfect, which it was. Then you've got to execute the finish, which he did.
Gassama, can he spark Rangers into life? Trying to take on two here, and he's done well again. Crosses to the near post, and Stankovic is back to clear it. Sturm Graz trying to play out in a tight corner. He managed to squeeze it up the line, but only as far as Barron into Raskan. Middle of the pitch, gives it to Tavernier in a midfield position, the right back.
Right, take him on.
Out to Antman, he's gone inside again and finds Raskan and goes out to Tavernier, corner of the box. It's the Rangers captain, deflected, and then it has to be punched over the top of the crossbar by Christensen, the goalkeeper. Rangers corner.
Well, it actually worked on that occasion when Antman drove in. Tavernier was advanced on the right hand side. It gets the ball popped back out to him. Tries to just clip one in, hang it up, but the deflection taking it goalwards. Keeper left no option but to touch it over the bar.
James Tavernier from this near side. Can Rangers hit back before the break? They're two down. Near post corner is shocking from Tavernier, and it comes back to him, and he's going to have to accept the throw in, and it's really.
It's got to be better. It's got to be better. The delivery. It's normally so good.
And he goes with a long throw to the near post. Suter's there, it comes off his head, and then it's Cornelius just going to hit off him, and again the goalkeeper is there to just claim it on the line.
Now that's a long throw right into a dangerous area. They don't win the first one cleanly, but it kind of breaks in the box. I don't think Cornelius is set or ready for it. He's kind of almost just surprised to see it land at him and doesn't react.
Kitishvili offloads it to Chukwuani. He's certainly a presence in there though, Cornelius. A couple of times, one header, and that one kind of just hit off his body really, I think. Iwu hooks it forwards off the back of Malone. Kitishvili flicks it up, but he's crowded out, and Asgard knocks it to Tavernier. Tavernier in the centre circle, back to John Suter. And the way things are going for Rangers this season, you can fully sense the confidence rock bottom for these Rangers players, and who are going to be the characters, the big personalities with the skill and quality to get them back into the game here. Shakhtar Donetsk have equalised against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, 1-1. The coefficient not going well on this Thursday night in the Europa and Conference Leagues. Rangers free kick, central area, halfway up Sturm Graz territory. They badly need some inspiration here in Austria. Tavernier is over it. Hard to get an angle on this one. Might just float it up there.
Yeah, he'll stand it up towards the kind of back area of the 18-yard box. Cornelius is there, Suter's there.
Yeah, and the referee is just having a little words. A couple of players on the pitch at the moment, Chermiti and Iwu, striker in centre half, just having words with each other, and the referee is happy enough for this free kick to be taken by James Tavernier. Again, it's not a great one. Stankovic is able to glance it away. Back to Tavernier. Another poor delivery from the Rangers captain. Urman collects it. He's got Chukwuani in front of him, and he finds him with a good pass, and Rangers are scrambling to get back here, and that's a brilliant interception from Nico Raskan to stop Kitishvili. And it goes back to Jack Butland, and Sturm Graz are claiming it's a back pass, but I think Raskan was just sliding in there.
No chance. I tell you what, it's absolutely brilliant from Raskan, because if he doesn't get that, they're in a 1v1 situation again with Butland. It was out a really good counter-attack from Sturm Graz, 5-6 players joining it. It's that final pass, and Raskan busted himself to get back into an area where he can affect it, and slides in and does the slide tackle back to Butland. Never a pass back.
No, it was a brilliant interception from the Belgian.
Timely as well.
Oh yeah,
very timely.
They were just one pass through the line there to Chukwuani, and they were in all sorts of bother. Tavernier collects just over the halfway line. 4 minutes plus stoppages to the break. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0. Rangers' quest for back-to-back wins under Russell Martin looking set to continue here as Asgard regathers from Chermiti, and then a dummy from Raskan for Antman, trying to get space for the shot. Now it's back to Raskan, who puts it over the top with the right foot.
I felt as though Antman could have hit that first time as it's rolled through. It was a lovely wee over from Raskan. Step onto it and hit it with your left foot. He didn't want to. He came touch back inside the field again. Prods it through to Raskan, who's kind of rushed the shot. I think he had more time than he thought, and skies it metres over the bar. Decent enough, half chance that for Rangers.
Yeah, Antman just, he looks like a player who's trying to get away from space into where there's more players.
Yeah. It's not always the best idea.
No.
I mean, the thing is, when his main attribute is his pace, obviously. Open the pitch up, play out in the touchline, and use your speed.
Yeah, there was a yellow card flashed for Jürgen Sommel, the manager taking the booking. I don't know if it was him that said something or one of his coaching staff, but certainly the referee flashed the yellow cards in their direction. It's all going their way at their moment. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0. 2.5 minutes left of this first half. Rangers throwing on the far side. Kasama leaves it for Magoma. A goal would be so timely and precious for Rangers at this stage is Asgard. Carries it down the left, and he thought he'd won a corner, but the ref signals for a goal kick. Just not going Rangers' way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a disappointing half again from Rangers. They've managed to create one or two opportunities, fine, but defensively both goals really, really poor, switching off. And in truth, it probably could have been more than two if they'd been more clinical, Sturm Graz. So a lot to ponder at half time.
Sturm Graz will be at Celtic Park in 3 weeks' time after the international break. Celtic going down 2-0 at home to Braga earlier this evening, as Iwu knocks it back to Christensen, the goalkeeper, who was at fault for both goals in the defeat by Midtjylland last week. Two howlers, really. One that was a corner that he just palmed into the net, and the other was a fairly tame shot that he got something on and helped its way into the bottom corner. Not been tested enough tonight, though. That's the problem for Rangers as Graz play it down Rangers' left-hand side. Cornelius comes across, the man on loan from Marseille, clips it up to halfway. Chermiti off his chest, but it bounces for Stankovic, and then Urman across the defensive line to Lavallee, pings the pass, looking for Malone. He stuck the left leg out, couldn't bring it down, the big striker.
Yeah, it's nearly a Lavallee pass, that.
10 out of 10 for you. Yeah, it was well, he's like that left-footed pass, just a raker out to the far side. The Rangers get away with it on this occasion as Stankovic heads it into midfield. 30 seconds left of the first 45. It is Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0. One of 3 live games we're bringing you tonight on Sports Sound. Celtic Braga earlier. It's 1-1 at Pittodrie in the Conference League between Aberdeen and Shakhtar Donetsk. That's on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, as Magoma fires it up the line. Iwu gets there, a bit of a clumsy touch, and he's conceded the throw-in just over 7-8 yards over the halfway line. Can Rangers get a goal back before the break? Gassama throws it for Chermiti, but the referee has signalled a foul throw there on the far side. The second one of the evening, one for each side, and we're going to have one added minute at the end of this first half. Another thoroughly miserable one for the Rangers fans away to our left hand side, and they've been quiet, and there are empty seats in that area, which is something you would not really say often about Rangers away following in Europe, but it speaks to the atmosphere around the club right now. And this first half display will have done absolutely nothing to quell the storm that has engulfed Russell Martin almost from the word go since stepping in the door at Ibrox as Rangers head coach. We've played almost the 1 minute. Rangers have it at the back. Suter, and there is the half-time whistle, and it is more glum faces on Rangers players as they trot down to the dressing room for half-time. 2 goals behind, the first coming after just 7 minutes. Well worked by Sturm Graz down the left-hand side of the box, played across to Tommy Horvat, and eventually got shot away. Butland could have done better, probably should have done better, got a touch on it, but it came off him and went into the top corner, and then it was 2-0 on 35. A brilliantly worked free kick from Sturm Graz. Rangers with a high line, they played it almost short along the grass in behind, and Kitishvili won the foot race to prod it beyond Jack Butland to make it 2-0. Rangers have had a couple of chances. Cornelius had a header saved, 2 headers saved, and Chermiti crashed one off the crossbar when it was 1-0, but really Jack Butland has also been busy with a couple of good saves. And it is a long way back for Rangers here in Austria at half-time in the Europa League Matchday 2. It is Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. 3 European commentaries for you this evening. The 5:45 kick-off ended Celtic 0, Braga 2. We'll hear some thoughts from the Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers in a few minutes' time. The full media conference will play that out for you between 10 and 11 o'clock. We'll get a Celtic fan joining us as well. His reaction to what was a really poor performance from the Celtic side. They were booed off at half-time. Rangers not doing a whole lot better, you'd have to say, half-time out there in Austria. They're 2 goals down to Sturm Graz, 7 minutes and 35 minutes. Certainly the first goal that Jack Butland could have done a whole lot better with. Aberdeen will welcome listeners who are tuned into the Aberdeen commentary. They're doing a lot better in the Conference League tonight. Aberdeen won, Shakhtar Donetsk won. Carlson with a penalty there on 8 minutes. Nazaranya equalising on 38 minutes. So we'll rejoin Willie and Liam in a couple of minutes' time. James McFadden and Tom English alongside me here in the studio. James, same old from Rangers, just gifting opportunities.
Yeah, they are, and you know the goal, the first goal is, you know, Jack Butland makes a mistake, but it's from a Rangers throw-in, and how it gets from Tavernier trying to throw it into Chamiti, not strong enough, allows the defender to nick in front. By the time he nicks in front, the ball's in the Rangers box, square pass, chance to shoot, he lets it go, Horvat, and then he fires it straight at Jack Butland, who tries to make himself bigger. It's more of an instinctive attempt at a save rather than keeping out of the net, and it was 3 or 4 times in the first half Rangers had throw-ins and they were giving the ball away basically. So no, it's been a poor show. Chamiti had a chance, heads it off the bar. I actually think he does just about as much as he can in the circumstance, but just again for Rangers, slowing the ball. Any time they've looked to get the ball forward quick to Gassama, they've looked dangerous. But you know, Sturm Graz are doubling up on him. He's still managing to create opportunities, but it's just not good enough again for Rangers. Rangers look dangerous, a danger to themselves when they have the ball.
I mean, that says all, doesn't it? I mean, that says all. Welcome to listeners who have been tuned in to the Aberdeen game. It's a whole lot better for Aberdeen. They took the lead up there, an 8th minute penalty from Carlson, equalised on 38 minutes by Nazaranya. So Aberdeen won, Shakhtar Donetsk won. That's in the Conference League tonight. Full second half commentary to come. Just a reminder what we've got for you later on between 10 and 11 o'clock. We will play all 3 managers out their media conference with them, Jimmy Tullian, Russell Martin and Brendan Rodgers. We'll play a wee bit of Brendan Rodgers in a couple of minutes' time. Celtic losing 2-0 at home to Braga in the Europa League earlier on. Rangers 2-0 down away at Sturm Graz this evening. James McFadden just giving his analysis there of that first half performance from Russell Martin's team. Tom English alongside us here in the studio. Tom, and again, I go back to the media conference that you were at, where you asked Russell Martin to tell us what has improved during his time in charge, and he couldn't give you any answers to that. James has just given a fairly strong critique of what he's seen from Rangers. I just can't think of anything this guy can say right now, this Rangers manager can say right now, that offers any sort of hope to Rangers fans.
No, I don't. You're looking for a sliver of optimism here, just a semblance of something coming together, and I don't see anything. You know, Russell Martin was in his media yesterday. He says there are, and I'm quoting, the players are showing signs now that they're getting into some sort of flow and understanding what we want. I don't know what Russell Martin wants here. He also said my whole career was built on proving people wrong. Sadly, he's proving people right with every game at the moment. It seems to be just he's locked in this vicious circle. He can't get out of it. His team is losing all the time, or most of the time. There's these catastrophic mistakes that are being made. Not his fault, but he carries the can for them. And I think the whole club is drifting, you know, with the news about the new recruitment coming in and all the commentary about that. I just think that the club is mired in kind of gloom doom and gloom.
It just seems a shambles right now, and we'll get reaction from fans later on. An Aberdeen fan will join us, a Rangers fan will join us, a Celtic fan will join us. I know that our colleagues out there in Austria spoke to some Rangers fans yesterday, and it's as I suspect, it's certainly what I've been hearing and reading on social media, that they're saying there is nothing that the manager can do. We keep saying he has to keep win games, but you get the feeling as soon as he gets one defeat, that's it again. I just don't think, Tom, I don't think he can win the Rangers fans back. I think it's gone.
Yeah, and I'd agree with you. I mean, they're 2-0 down at half time. Same old. Nobody would be surprised at this. Like, nobody.
No.
It's 2-0. What would be surprising is if they came back now and they got a point out of this. That would be a big surprise. More likely they will lose another goal. It's not getting any better. Just because Russell Martin says he can see things getting better, it doesn't mean they're getting better. It just means he's desperate to see something. But it's an whatever he's seeing, it's an optical illusion.
Yeah,
it's not really there. It's a mirage.
It is getting better, but it's still not enough.
And it's slow.
The bar is very low.
But I don't see it getting better, though.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's too slow. You look at Antman's performance off the right, so reluctant to run in behind, either off the ball or when he gets it, he's cutting inside and playing safe. Gassama's the only one that's willing to, try something, try and create in the areas that matter.
Well, within the doom and gloom tonight, there is, believe it or not, some positivity. That positivity is up at Pittodrie. Aberdeen up against Shakhtar Donetsk. Let's get the half-time report from Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, going up against a team that has in recent years beaten both Barcelona and Real Madrid and has a storied history over the last couple of decades in the Champions League. Aberdeen holding the Ukrainians, Shakhtar Donetsk. Jesper Karlsson giving them the lead inside 8 minutes and thus ending that long old wait for just a goal for them. They'd gone 548 minutes plus stoppages without a goal when Karlsson dispatched the penalty, which is awarded for a handball by the striker Kawau Elias. Wasn't even booked for it. It was a deliberate handball in the box, but there you go. The penalty was given after a VAR check and struck home beautifully by Karlsson into the bottom left. Aberdeen was a proper rearguard action after that. They've surrendered about 80% possession in the match, and all the other statistics pointing Shakhtar's way. As far as passes completed are concerned, Shakhtar 289, Aberdeen 61, which just gives you the full idea as to the dominance of the Ukrainians in the game. And they did level proceedings with Ukraine international Ihar Nazarinya smashing home came from a corner he'd taken. Actually, Aberdeen got it half away, but Nazarinya found himself in acres of space back into the box, smashed it in off the post, and they missed a glorious chance. Bondards about 5 or 6 minutes after they'd gone behind. The goal's gaping, he's got to score. Somehow he put it wide. Aberdeen, whilst they've defended well at times tonight, Willie, they've coughed up those two big chances. They've both come from corners. They just can't seem to defend set plays. You look at the excellent goal for Dundee United last Tuesday's case in point.
They've got to be better organised defensively. It seems to be this ruck, and I don't know how you can defend properly when you're in a ruck and you don't know where your man is and you're grappling with him, and that seems to be what happened with the Bondar opportunity. I mean, how he misses it, I do not know. It falls to him perfectly. It's 5 yards out. Instead of going with it with the side foot strike into the back of the head, tries to go with the outside of his boot and puts it past the far post. I mean, it's got to be a goal. It's actually got to be a goal. But Aberdeen have defended well, but it's been back to the wall. It's been 10 men defending from maybe 30-40 yards out, almost constantly. But you know what? I don't think Shakhtar has done enough to disrupt the Aberdeen, back five and the rest sitting in front of them. I think Nicky Devlin has been brilliant because most of Shakhtar's attacks have been down the left-hand side. He's playing right wing-back, and I think he's handled it extremely well. But generally, it's a disciplined, well-organised performance. It's not about going forward and creating opportunities. They got the breakthrough with the penalty, a definite penalty. I don't know why you have to go to the VAR. We can see it from up here that it's hit the forearm.
It's a deliberate handball, isn't it?
It's an awkward one for them to defend as well at the near post. So you're right, the referee should have at least shown a yellow card. But they've got that, and Carlson finished it really well. I mean, the goalkeeper Resnick goes to his right hand side, and if it's not as accurate and as powerful as what Carlson has struck the ball, then he's saving it. So a brilliant penalty kick from him. They've lost the goal, bad organisation. Nazarinya, finished it well because it was a tight angle and he's not got a big target at the far post, so it's a well taken goal. But Shakhtar has dominated. They've dominated possession. They've dominated the ball. From an Aberdeen point of view, it's just been about being organised defensively in particular, not offering too much as far as the attacking side of the game's concerned. But I feel that where Jimmy Tillene is at this moment, where Aberdeen are at this moment, then you've got to accept that type of performance. I don't think that's his DNA. I think he prefers to go forward, but defensively it's been a good performance the first half.
Shakhtar fifth favourites to win this tournament, but Aberdeen holding them. I think all the predictors had them bottom of the Conference League, all the simulators. If they can get off to a positive start with even a draw tonight, it might lift some of the gloom away from Jimmy Tillene. Half time on Matchday 1 in the Conference League, Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 1.
Yeah, well done to Aberdeen. Full second half commentary to come. We kicked off with the 5:45 start at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Sporting Braga 2. Let's hear from the Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers, and first of all he addressed a highly contentious decision that saw a Celtic equaliser chopped off Iheanacho with a goal. It was adjudged to have been a handball. Here's Brendan Rodgers.
I can't understand why the referee isn't asked to go and have a look at it. I think if you're looking at that, even if you look at it once, twice, and I'm assuming the guys in the VAR will have watched it more than that because of the time it took. But there's absolutely no way from every angle you look at that he's touched it. So it's hit his face. He's gone away and finished it really, really well, and that's a big moment in the game for us.
You said you haven't been given an explanation, Brendan, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Have you sought one? Have you tried to speak to the ref?
Yeah, well, no, not as of yet, no. It was a big moment in the game. We'd started the half well, and in fairness to the players, they continued to push, get into some really good areas, but just a mixture of them making good blocks, us not making the finish, was left us frustrated.
Kasper Schmeichel's been such a big player for you since he's come to the club. Is he... I don't know, has he said anything in the change room? It looks like he probably should have done better with the opener.
Yeah, I haven't spoke to him. I think from looking at it, looks like the ball is moving. Of course, he probably will be disappointed with it, but yeah, it looks like it's a good strike by the player, and it's obviously moved a little bit.
Another game where fans are bemoaning a lack of creativity and despite Iheanacho's goal being chopped off, a lack of goals in the squad. Your message to them, and is that a concern that we know what hasn't happened in the transfer window? Is this the club's chickens coming home to roost in that regard?
Well, listen, whatever it is, I need to find the solution to it. Because like I said, there's been too many games now where we haven't scored from a team that was... last year we scored the most goals in the last 54 years of the club's history. So we're just in a spell now, and it's my responsibility. I need to somehow find the solutions to that.
More to come from Brendan Rodgers later. Just to say, in the studio, we could not see the handball that was given against Iheanacho. In terms of that first goal, it was an absolute howler from Kasper Schmeichel. So we'll hear in full from Brendan Rodgers later, and of course we'll hear from Jimmy Tillene and also from Russell Martin, and we'll be joined by fans between 10 and 11 o'clock. James McFadden and Tom English will join in with that debate. So a choice of listener once again for you, with two more big second halves ahead, you'd have to say. Sturm Graz against Rangers in the Europa League. Stick with us on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds. If it's Aberdeen against Shakhtar in the Conference League you're looking for, tune to Radio Scotland Medium Wave and Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds, and you can find both games on the website at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Austria, where Rangers have made two changes. They probably had to change something. Bojan Miovski and Max Aarons are on for Oliver Antman and Jayden Magoma. So probably looks like Aaron's to left back and going potentially 2 up front here.
Well, no, I think Aaron's is going to right back, and it looks as though Cornelius is going to come over to left back with Tavernier and Suter the centre halves. But it's a bold move from the manager. He had to do something. He's now got both the strikers on the pitch. Let's see if he can make a difference.
Yep, and they are 2 down, mountain to climb. Did create a couple of opportunities in that first half, mostly through the liveliness of Jiri Gassama, but other than that, Sturm Graz been in control.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like he's pretty much just matched up with a diamond. Baron at the defensive side of it, Asgard at the top, Raskin and Gassama either side of that. So basically just matching up, but it's the same formation as Grazia.
So Rangers with a throw in on their own half. And they desperately need a spark, something for fans to cling on to, but many, if not most, minds already made up on the manager, you would suspect. But a comeback here may start to stir something. Suter goes back to Butland in goal. He's been forced into a couple of good saves, but should have done better for the opener as Tavernier gets it out to Aaron's. A clumsy touch from the substitute, and he's managed to cannon it off.
Took a bobble, to be fair. It did take quite a big bobble off the surface that we've mentioned already, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Fair enough, as Miofsky can't keep that in on the far side. Will be a Sturm Graz throw in. They too looking for a first win of this Europa League, having lost to Midtjylland. Sturm Graz, they are the Austrian champions. They've got quality, we have seen that, but they lost to Rapid Vienna, a side that Dundee United took all the way to penalties in Conference League qualifying, and obviously lost to Midtjylland last week, who Hibs pushed all the way in Europa League qualifying. It's a free kick to Rangers in a decent position.
Yeah, Gassama does well, carries the ball a good 20-25 yards, but he actually should have laid in Cornelius, who'd made the overlap in the left hand side. He was in a good area. Gassama just had his head down, he was trying to do it all himself. Better option was the pass to Cornelius, who was in space to put a ball in the box. Now we've got 2 big strikers in the central area. Got to get deliveries in for these guys.
Yeah, Tavernier with a couple of good deliveries, I should say, early on, but the last couple have been poor, and Tavernier hoists it to the back post, and then the defender, I wonder if he just got the shout there that he could leave it, and he did, and it sails behind for a goal kick. 2-0 to Sturm Graz.
Yeah, the delivery wasn't bad, but good defending in the end. I think he probably did just get a shout from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and there was a stat floating around from Opta at half-time that's now 22 away games in all competitions for Rangers without a clean sheet, which is a joint club record stretching back to, I think it was the 1895 to 1897.
Yeah, it doesn't make great reading, that. It really does not.
No, and obviously Russell Martin has not been in charge for all 22 of those games, but conceding far too many goals. Butland's under pressure in his own box, gives the pass to Asgard. It's a really good pass, and he offloads to Raskan, who back heels and then sails the ball down to Gassama, takes the touch, and now he's one-on-one with Urman. He's got support from Cornelius on the left, in on the right foot. Brilliant shot, brilliant goal, and it would be Jiri Gassama to spark Rangers into life. Absolutely sensational from the left winger, cutting in on the right foot and firing low into the bottom corner, and it is Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1.
Well, if it was going to be any day tonight, it would be with Gassama. He's been Rangers' most dangerous player without a shadow of a doubt. I'm just thinking to myself, because Cornelius had made that overlap again, I'm thinking lay him in, but he cuts inside and unleashes from about 18-19 yards out. I do think that Christensen will be disappointed in the goal. It wasn't right in the corner. I think he could have got a hand to it, but it had enough pace behind it, the shot. It's exactly what Russell Martin was looking for. Change of system, more adventurous, and they've got the goal straight away.
It's Gassama's first goal since the 5th of August when he scored against Pilsen in Champions League qualifying. All his goals have come in European competition. He's been head and shoulders Rangers' best player tonight, and he's got them back into this game. Just a bit of individual brilliance. In fairness to Jack Butland, and that's a loose touch from Tavernier, but it is an awkward surface, as Stephen described, that he's done well to get it away to Suter. Yeah, Jack Butland, he was under a bit of pressure, managed to find the pass through to Asgard in the build up to that goal, as Cornelius plays it to Gassama down the left hand side, and you would just play it to him at any opportunity, really, Stephen.
Oh, feed him the ball. Feed him the ball. I mean, he's the one Rangers player that's shown real bravery on the ball, willing to do things to try and make a difference.
And here he is on the byline up against Urman, who won't have enjoyed playing against him tonight. Gets the pass to Cornelius, deflected, crossing in near post, and Asgard prodded it on target, but the goalkeeper's made a save behind for a corner.
Yeah, again, it's brilliant from Gassama. Slips it between two of the Sturm Graz defenders where Cornelius was. He flips the ball into the near post. It takes a wee deflection. It's either Asgard or Chermiti at the near post. One of them made contact with it, but the goalkeeper prodding it behind for the corner kick.
And Rangers showing signs of life here in Austria. Goal back, now a corner. Tavernier with a right foot curls it into the 6-yard box. Stankovic heads it to Gassama, edge of the area, controls it with the chest, but the referee's whistle had gone for the free kick, and that opportunity comes to an end. But can Rangers build on this?
I mean, at half time you're thinking there wasn't a way back into the game for them, and the change of formation, as I mentioned, is far more aggressive, and it has got them immediate response.
It has indeed, and how Russell Martin needed that, and the Rangers fans found their voice, clapping over in the corner to our left, having been subdued for the majority of the first half. Blocked by Aarons, the match winner on Sunday against Livingston. Throw in to Sturm Graz on the far side. Rangers' first goal in the Europa League this season. And it's Barron who clears it downfield over halfway. Iwu watches it, lets it bounce, and then heads it out to Karic, helps it forwards, and it's there to be won in midfield, and Rangers do win it. Tavernier controls it with a body and then plays it forwards. Miovski goes up, then Chermiti, and now it's Raskan just jinking about in midfield, and then he's won a good challenge to keep hold of the ball, and it's out to Gassama, coming in on the right foot again. Space closed down, and his pass for Asgard was intercepted. But the way he's played, Gassama, just plants that seeded out in the Graz defence. Just as soon as he picks up the ball, they're scrambling across to try and make sure he doesn't have space to let fly with that right foot, as we saw moments ago with the goal. And Miovski's passed that slightly behind Aarons, and then across to Tavernier. And as Tomo said, playing at right centre half for Rangers, Suter, and Cornelius at left back. Down the line for Gassama, who's onto it, controls, gives it to Asgard. Asgard curls one. Miovski's got a good flick on, and Aarons collects it, right hand side of the area, cross into Raskan, sliding challenge is missed. Raskan goes after it, and then he's lashed it wide. The flag up on the far side. Raskan did so well there, just couldn't get it on target.
Well, it was a lovely wee flick from Miovski from the cross from Asgard. Aarons find himself in real space and time. The delivery from he's got to be better. He goes for a cutback, and I'd like to have seen it flashed across the face. Cutback comes in. It's not defended particularly well by the Austrians, and then it's a wee half chance for Raskin, but I think he just strayed offside.
Up to Chukwani, and Barron fouls him short of halfway. Sturm Graz, as I mentioned, going to Celtic next in this competition in a couple of weeks' time. That'll be a big game for Celtic if they want to revive hopes of the knockout stages. Lavallee into midfield, and it's Boganovic off to Urman, back to Iwu to Urman, into Horvat. It's won by Rangers, and then Cornelius is felled by the Sturm Graz midfielder who scored the first goal. And the home fans away to our right, jumping up and down, things going. And the team need a wee bit of help for the first time probably in this game. Rangers getting on the ball, asking a few questions. Still need more though. as Gassama controls back to the goal and goes to Barron with a pass around halfway. He fires it out towards Aarons on the right, then to Tavernier, Aarons back to Suter, and Shakhtar Donetsk now leading Aberdeen by 2-1 at Pittodrie. Gassama on the left hand side of the box, chance here for Rangers, brilliant cut back as Asgard was looking to step onto it, but Chukwani with good defending.
Really important bit of defending that from Chukwani. Good play again. The switch of play from Suter out to Gassama, picks out Asgard, made a decent run into around about the penalty spot, but Chukwani just getting there in front of him, put it behind for the corner.
Tavernier across to take this corner on the near side in front of the Rangers fans. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1 after 56 minutes. And it's Tavernier to take. Sends it to the edge of the 6-yard box. Suter came a long way but couldn't make contact. And then the counter's on here, but it's spooned up and only as far as Gassama. Now it's Chermiti down the right hand side of the box. Low ball to the penalty spot, away by Stankovic. Now it's with Raskan, wins it in midfield. Aarons down the right, gives it to Raskan, and then it cannons off Aaron's face. Unfortunate break from the substitute, and it goes out for a throw into Sturm Graz.
It's another occasion there where it's just the final ball just not quite good enough. It was Chermiti took a really good touch past the defender. He's just got to get a better delivery, and his body's in the box. Tries to play it low, it's cut out too easily. But much better from Rangers in an attacking sense.
Chermiti first time round the corner, Miovski just lurking on the shoulder but didn't reach him. Horvat into Kutishvili, and he's away from 2 players including Raskan, who's fouled him in the centre circle. Such a tricky player. Otar Kutishvili, scorer of Sturm Graz's second goal. The Rangers were the better of it in the second half. Played 57 minutes, it's 2-1. Gassama with a fine strike from the edge of the box, but here come the home side. Cross floated towards Horvat, who's making a run to the edge of the box, but it goes over the top of him. Now it's Gassama in his own half having a little run, feeds Asgard, and then away to Barron. Barron stops, then he had his arm pulled back there blatantly by Malone. Rangers free kick in their own half, and Cornelius going up to the front 2 with a free kick, but it's won by Lavallee. And now Stankovic to Urman. Urman passes over halfway to Horvat. Rangers getting bodies round the ball now, trying to close down as the goalkeeper plays it to Lavallee. Now Chukwani shut down by Asgard, and it's a poor pass, and Aarons has it, and he's found Gassama just outside the area. Then Chermiti turns on the edge of the box, back onto the left foot, low shot straight at the goalkeeper. 2-1 it remains.
It's good play again from Rangers. It was slack from Sturm Graz, but Rangers making the most of that. Ball into Chermiti's feet from Gassama. Nice wee turn, swivel on the edge of the 18, but couldn't get any power behind the shot with a short kind of take back.
Rangers free kick down in front of us, and Chermiti, it was a lovely touch, as you say, get it on the left foot just short of the hour mark, and there's going to be a change among the home ranks. Is Jakob Peter Hodel is coming on. The midfielder started at the weekend, and the striker Belmin Beganovic is coming off after his first start for Sturm Graz. Was involved in the build-up for the first goal. Decent shift from him. Peter Hodel is on in his place, the 18-year-old Austrian, as Tavernier feeds Raskan in the Sturm Graz half. Pass out to Aarons is intercepted by Karic, cleared up the line, but it's all going in Rangers' favour at the moment in terms of territory and possession. Barron to Cornelius at left back, into Gassama, and Urman got a foot on the ball there, and now Sturm Graz are countering. Hodel gives it to Urman, the right back. Kitishvili's behind him in support. He tries to go between Chermiti and Barron, doesn't manage it. Now Cornelius has it, and he kind of toe pokes it forwards, and Russell Martin's wanting a free kick, but not going to get it. It's going to be a throw in. to Sturm Graz.
He just seemed to kind of dither on the ball a wee bit, invited the challenge. It was fairly robust, but I don't think there was enough in it for a foul. But he seems to have been in a bit of pain here. I don't know whether the physio's going out. The physios are coming on now for Cornelius. He's holding his thighs, maybe just a knee into his thigh when the Sturm Graz player was closing him down. A dead leg, but should be alright.
Yeah, he's down receiving treatment now.
I mean, it's just so much better from Rangers. This system that they're playing, they carry so much more threat with it. The two strikers up there occupying the two centre halves. You've got Gassama on this left hand side looking dangerous. They're finding space. They're moving the ball forward a lot quicker. It just seems to me that this suits them. You know, that we've watched Rangers since the start of the season playing basically in the 4-2-3-1 if you like, but everything's so laboured and slow, pedestrian in terms of the passing and the movement. There's been a lot more zip in this second half, going forward instantly rather than the extra 3-4 passes that we're so used to seeing.
Cornelius is back up. He's off the pitch at the moment. This one of 3 live European commentaries on Sportsound this evening. Earlier it was Celtic 0, Braga 2 in the Europa League, and Aberdeen were winning early on at home to Shakhtar Donetsk in the Conference League, but now trailing by 2-1 against one of the Conference League favourites, as Rangers try and get back on level terms after falling 2-0 down by half time. Jedi Gassama has provided hope, and as Stephen describes, the performance after the changes with Miovski and Aarons coming on from the goalman and Antman have been effective, as Iwu sends it long from alone, won by Tavernier, and then Cornelius plays it back to his captain, up to Gassama, controls it, holds off Urman and gets the pass to Cornelius, takes the touch and then up the line. It doesn't go for Gassama, but it does fall for Chermiti, but he's muscled out of it in the end, and now the home side will look to break forward. Hodel finds Chukwani, right hand side, sends it into the area, deflected, near post for Horvat, and then Butland just got gloves on it as it trickled towards the goal.
Yeah, really good one-touch play there from Sturm Graz down this right-hand side. Chukwani with the ball in, it takes a deflection, comes to the front post where Horvat is. He just doesn't get enough behind the shot, kind of almost sclaves it and kind of puts Jack Butland off a wee bit, who grabs it at the second attempt. But that was the first kind of real sign from Sturm Graz in this second half. They've been really defensive so far.
Now 3-1 to Shakhtar Donetsk at Pataudry. Out to the right hand side for Rangers. Chukwani claims that pass with ease, and now here come Sturm Graz. Horvat is a tidy player, fires it out to Kitishvili on the far side, gets the return, but good work from Miovski, and it's a throw in to the Austrians on the far sides. Rangers away in Brann next up in the Europa League. Big period for them. Falkirk away on Sunday, then Dundee United at home before that Brann tie, then Kilmarnock at home, Hibs away before the end of October. And wins are really the only currency that matters for Russell Martin. Improvement in the opening 18.5 minutes of the second half, back in this game. Can they find an equaliser and then perhaps kick on even further? Here is Tavernier, plays it to Aarons on the far side touchline, back to Tavernier.
Every time Aarons receives the ball, he takes his first touch back the way, never opens up to look forward, always back the way.
Suter, centre circle to Raskan, turns, faces forwards, and then offloads to Tavernier. Tavernier, little pass through for Barron, and then his pass for Raskan is intercepted, and then he's too eager to win it back, and he's penalised for fouling Chukwani.
Yeah, I think Barron's on his last warning there. It's been about 2 or 3 fouls in this second half, and I think the referee just explaining to him, one more you're going in the book.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a yellow card, have we? Well, obviously the one to the Sturm Graz bench. It's not been that kind of game. Maybe that's not a good thing from a Rangers point of view. It goes up to Chukwani and head it to Kitishvili, and the offside flag is up on this near side. Rangers free kick. It's just it's almost even they did really well. Gassama scores the goal, bit of life, and they dominated for 5 minutes, but now it's back to being a wee bit too
Yeah, well, I think
slow.
they probably caught Sturm Graz out a wee bit with the change of formation. It's maybe taking Sturm Graz this kind of 15-minute period to get to grips with it. It looks as though Rangers are going to make another substitution.
Raskan played down the right hand side, dangerous cross towards the near post. Iwu with a sliding challenge to knock it away, back out to Raskan, who heads it to Aarons, and it cuts back off Aarons, and now it's with Miovski loses the ball. Chikwani, who then heads it and then regathers and backheels it to Horvat, and then Kitishvili. It's tidy play from Sturm Graz, who lead by 2-1 after 65.5 minutes, and it's forward to the substitute Hurdle. Controls, and then infield pass to Stankovic. Now Malone nips away from Barron, back to goal, back to Horvat to the edge of the box, onto the left foot. Low shot is blocked by Barron. Sturm Graz corner.
Again, it's good play. You can hear the crowd getting behind Sturm Graz. They're really good on the counter at real pace. Conor Barron doing well actually to get out to the right hand side to block that shot from Horvat, but it's at the expense of another corner to Sturm Graz.
Corner to be delivered by Horvat on the far side. Butland on his line. Here it comes, out swinger, glanced away to Gassama on the edge of the box, who clears it downfield. No one at home for Rangers, and Urman, Germany under 21 international, will calmly go back and control it. And now Christensen on loan from Fiorentina. Did wonder if he might have done better with Gassama's goal. It was a brilliant strike, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I think he's there behind it. It's maybe just the pace that's caught him out.
Yeah, he's not had a good couple of weeks, as I've already mentioned, so the more you can test him, the better. As he spoons one up into the air, the goalkeeper Cornelius wins it, bounces into midfield. Asgard up against Chukwani, and he's managed to pick up the ball, and then he's fouled by Urman. Rangers free kick, and we are going to get the yellow cards of the evening for Tim Urman.
Yeah, I don't think again too many complaints.
And it's going to be Tavernier, kind of bang in the middle of the goals, about 35 yards out. And Conor Barron is replaced by Joe Rodwell for Rangers. So third change made. Joe Rodwell, having been first choice in midfield at the start of the season, not started the last 5 now, on for the final 20 or so minutes. Tavernier clips into the box, Raskan goes up, heads into the back post. Bojan Miovski is lurking, but it's glanced away by Stankovic behind for a corner.
It's a good free kick from Rangers. Tavernier kind of chipping it towards this near side back area. Raskin gets up well, floats it into the middle of the 6. Thought the goalkeeper was going to come for it, but in the end it's Stankovic with a really good defensive header behind for yet another corner to Rangers.
Over on the far side, Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1. 68 on the clock, live on Sportsound. Out swinger from Tavernier, Stankovic again, who gets the head on it. Gassama slips as he struck the ball from the edge of the box, glanced by Suter, but Chermiti can't keep it in. It was a tough ask for Rangers number 9, and it's a Sturm Graz goal kick, and Christensen is desperate to get on with it, but it's a wayward one, and Joe Rodwell gathers. There's some action on the Sturm Graz bench. They're going to make a change shortly, but here is Asgard in Sturm territory. Back to Suter. Sturm, I believe, the German word for storm, which we may be flying back into come tomorrow night, along with the Rangers fans. As John Suter fires it forward, intercepted. Cornelius playing up left back, goes after it, gives it to Rodwell. Another one with a big point to prove early in his Rangers career. Gives it to Cornelius. Cornelius to Gassama. Gassama to Raskan. Raskan, brilliant play from the Belgian. Forward, gets the 1-2, leaves it for Asgard. Superb dummy. Now Cornelius left hand side. Can he work the space to cross? He can, and it's for a half second I thought that was heading for the top corner, and it sails behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Gassama doing well again in the left. This time he does work the ball out to Cornelius, tries to make the wee half yard to get the cross and couldn't wrap his foot round it enough, but you're right, it couldn't have been far away from that top left hand corner.
He doesn't convince me, Christensen, I have to say. The goalkeeper, Aberdeen have scored. Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3, and it's Nicky Devlin who's grabbed it. So Aberdeen putting up a fight at home to Shakhtar. Rangers putting up a fight to Sturm Graz here in the second half. After going 2 goals down in a rather meek first half performance, here's Kitishvili, scorer of the second goal. Burrows round in, gives it out to Malone on the left, driving for the corner flag. Comes back, Chukwani now with 2 in front of him. Tries to find Horvat, but it's Aarons who wins the challenge, and he's prevented the corner kick. It's going to be a throw into Sturm Graz on the far side, in line with the edge of the Rangers box. Take it quickly to Kitishvili, now Horvat. His cross is blocked and Rodwell gathers, and Rodwell, it's not a good pass for Miovski, runs out on the far side.
It's got to be better. It's just a wee bit untidy. He's got 2 options to hit there, Rodwell, or just continue driving with the ball, but it's a slack pass.
And now Kitishvili down the left hand side. Sidi Yata, the striker, is going to be coming on shortly. One of 2 changes for Sturm Graz. And Mitchell, the right back, who's going to come on for a debut in a moment once they can make those changes. Aaron's throw to Tavernier. Nice touch and clearance. And Chermiti battling. Had arms all over him there, but the referee is happy enough with it. Up to Malone, who chests it for Horvat. Then out to Kitishvili. Kitishvili goes from distance, blocked. Cut back to Horvat, who's free, and Butlin has to save it. The near post comes back to him, and it's blocked. And now it spins out to the edge of the area. Chukwani to Hurdle, and now Urman dancing into the area. Left foot strike deflected from Suter, and away for a throw-in on this near side.
Real pressure there from Sturm Graz. Butlin, a really smart save down low at his right hand side at the near post. The shot from Horvat, who's been outstanding tonight.
And it's going to be 3 changes. Yata, with 5 goals this season, is coming on, and it's going to be Leon Grigic, another striker, no goals this season, 19-year-old Croatian. And as well as that, Jalen Mitchell, the Costa Rica international, on for his debut. He's on loan from Feyenoord, arrived injured, so he's not seen any action to date. But Urman, the right back, has gone off. He's on a yellow, and he's up against Gassama, so only makes sense. And Otar Kitishvili is the other player to come off. Well, after a really tough week with family issues, he's come back and been influential for his team in the contribution with his second goal. Huge, and it's being warmly received as he goes off.
Yeah, you can see he's a really talented player. His first touch, his vision, his movement, change of direction. Also, as you rightly point out, a really nice goal.
Throw-in comes into the Rangers box to defend it well enough, and Aarons lashes it forwards. 17 minutes left, plus stoppages here at the Merkur-Arena in Graz. Rangers have put up a much better fight in the second half, but you would still like them to have more chances since Gassama pulled one back 4 minutes after the break. And we'll see if these Sturm Graz changes have a bearing on things in the final quarter of this game. Throwing down the line for Rangers, and Chermiti is battling, and he goes down, and there is a free kick over on the far touchline. Attendance 15,500 here, and I mentioned it's an atmospheric little ground. It's not the most daunting of arenas. Certainly Rangers have played in a few of those over recent seasons. Free kick to Rangers on the far side. They trail by 2-1. Aberdeen over on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, trailing Shakhtar by 3-2 in the Conference League. Celtic beaten in the Europa League at home 2-0 by Sporting Braga earlier this evening. Gassama controls on the left hand side. He runs Mitchell, who's just on, and then goes down, and the referee looked like he was going to pull out a yellow card for diving there, but now the counter is on as Yata tried to make a run in behind, but Rangers get back and scramble, and now it's Asgard in the Sturm Graz half. Gassama has his pocket picked by Hodel. Came from his blind side, and now the yellow card is given to Cornelius, so it wasn't for Gassama. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bit of a wild lunge. in on Mitchell, who'd done really well defensively in a one-on-one situation with Gassama, and then Cornelius trying to come in and back him up, but he was late with his challenge.
So it's going to be a Rangers throw just about in line with the edge of the Sturm Graz box. We've got 15 plus stoppage time to play. Rangers desperately seeking an equaliser. Tavernier drawing the ball on his jersey. The referee blows the whistle. Joe Rodwell has come across to the near side, but Tavernier throws it towards the near post. Mitchell's header, controlled by Tavernier, has got space to cross here onto the right foot. It's flat, it bounces just about the penalty spot. Shot on the turn from Cornelius, and goalkeeper paws it away, and it's into the back post by Gassama, and it's just over Bojan Miovski out to the far side. Asgard, corner of the area, cross comes in, Cornelius up again, header low, and again it's palmed away by Christensen. Rangers knocking on the door.
Good pressure from Rangers. It was Cornelius with the first one, the swivel and shot down low. It didn't have enough pace on it. It was an easier save for Christensen, and then the second one, the header downward towards the left hand side of his goal. Again, he kind of just palms it away, not taking any risks.
Corner now on the far side. The referee unhappy with something here, pushing and shoving, or the usual shenanigans. Don't see an awful lot, to be quite honest with you. Having a word with Chermiti and Iwu, who is closely marking him. Arm round the back of him. Tavernier, that's a high one. Outswinger. Cornelius again underneath it. Didn't get the purchase on it, and in fact he's been penalised, I think, for jumping on the back. Free kick, and potentially some more action.
Yeah, looks like maybe Mikey Moore's going to come on for Rangers.
Yeah. The youngster getting his shirt on and final instructions. Bit of chat that he's finding it a bit tough to settle. I think Glasgow at the moment. He's potentially in conversations with Wales about a switch of nationality, having not played for, obviously, England's senior team yet, as Cornelius plays it up the line. Gassama was there, but Mitchell comes across and makes the tackle. He looks a bit more comfortable defending,
yeah,
in that area.
He looks physical as well, yeah.
Throw in just about halfway for Cornelius. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1. 12 and a half minutes left plus stoppage time. Cornelius down the line, Chermiti lays it off. Chukwani wins it, and now he has it again. It's not the best pass, Horvat couldn't gather, but Aaron's touch allowed Horvat back into it, and it breaks on the far side for Karic. He's on the touchline, dummies, and sends it back to his goalkeeper Christensen, who first time with a right foot sends it out the park, short of halfway. He's lacked conviction in a lot of what he's done. The Sturm Graz goalkeeper.
You've got it in for this goalkeeper. Big style.
You should see the goals he conceded last week, in fairness.
Yeah.
Mikey Moore is coming on for Derek Cornelius, who, having been booked, comes off. He's looked a threat in the box, though, I have to say. Certainly gets up, but Mikey Moore is on as Rangers seek an equaliser. Chukwani for Graz into midfield for Hurdle. Now they're breaking, running at the Rangers back line. Yatta's made a run outside to the right hand side. Chance here straight at Butland.
Awful.
Straight at Butland from Grigic. Should have been 3-1.
Oh, he's going to put his foot through it. I mean, it's such a weak finish. Another really good counter attack from Sturm Graz when he gets played in Grigic. He's 12 yards, maybe 13 yards from goal. Put your foot through it. He could even have taken a touch and then picked a corner. He goes with his side foot first time, and it just lacked conviction. Big let off for Rangers, that.
Yeah, reprieve for Rangers as they look to get back into this game. Raskan up to Chermiti and back to Raskan in his pass in behind. The defence is overhit. Runs for a goal kick. 2-1 still.
Just trying to work out what Rangers have done here formation wise. It looks as though they've maybe gone to a back three with Tavernier on the left hand side of the three, Suter in the middle and Aaron's on the right. Mikey Moore, not entirely sure where he's playing. Gassama as a left wing back. It's a puzzle.
But are there any defenders on the pitch?
They've definitely got all of their attacking threat pretty much on there now. Going for it.
Yeah, and you can understand that, given the time is running out and they still have a 1-goal deficit to try and overturn if they want to get their first, at least, point on the board in this Europa League. Pass for Chermiti, defender went down and the foul is given. Who it was who hit the deck.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent opportunity for Rangers. Just again, the final pass wasn't a particularly good one through for the runner Chermiti, and he clips his heels as he's going through, but the ball was always going to run through to the goalkeeper anyway.
Just looking at the pitch, how cut up it actually is. It's in tatters.
Yeah, it is.
Same for both teams, I suppose, as Christensen and Danilo is warming up. There is one attacker left to come on.
It's going to be interesting.
So Gassama goes after it in his own half, and he's not got the throw-in he was hoping for. It's for Sturm Graz, who lead Rangers by 2-1. Horvat and Kitishvili in the first half. Gassama replied for Rangers 4 minutes into the second, and that's how the score remains.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be Chermiti that comes off Danilo.
Jalen Mitchell,
he does have a long throw.
Here he goes into the area, right up to the edge of the 6-yard box, and then it's chaos in there. Eventually a touch on it from Rodwell, and the volley comes in, saved by Butland. Drops again in the area, and it's Mikey Moore who scampers out with it. He's done really well, the winger, running forward, offloads it to Raskan, then looking for Miovski, but it's too far in front of the North Macedonian, and it's cleared. And now Grigic is after it, and he's onside here, left hand side of the box. Gets to the byline. Horvat shows onto the right foot. Can he get the shot away? He can, but it's blocked. Claims for handball. Referee unmoved. Goes back to the Sturm Graz defence, and Lavallee nicks it away from Miovski. Now it's Mitchell. And you'll think Sturm Graz will fancy themselves to get a third with the amount of attacking players Rangers have on the pitch.
It was another save from Butland from the volley, wasn't it? I mean, pressures non-stop at the minute from Graz.
Horvat on the left hand side of the box. Karic with a cross. Suter's header away to the far side. And then clearance from Aarons. It's off the Graz player, but comes back to him and he clears at the second attempt, and it's nodded out by Lavallee. Rangers throw in just over halfway, and here is the change. Going to be one for each team. And it is Geerhofer who's going to come on for Niklas Geerhofer. He's going to come off for Tommy Horvat, who's been outstanding for Sturm Graz. And Danilo is going to be the player to come on for Rangers. Yet to see who it's going to be to come off it. It's going to be Telo Asgard.
Oh, well, there you go. 3 centre forwards on the pitch now. Really going for it. Here is Russell Martin. Where's Danilo going to play? Is he going to drop into more of the 10 where Asgard was? Maybe he is, yeah.
Well, let's see how this goes. Could be a fun last 7 minutes plus stoppage time. Mikey Moore, Aarons and Tavernier, and then Suter, Rodwell to Moore, Moore back to Aarons, Suter to Rodwell, back to Suter. Tavernier is square, and that's where the ball goes from John Suter. Tavernier floats it down the line for Gassama. Wonderful touch out the air from the winger, and he's away from Mitchell, and he's got the free kick. Too quick, too clever, and that's a dangerous position for Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, the touch, as you rightly point out, was absolutely magnificent from Gassama. He then cuts in on his right hand side on the right foot. Oh, Mitchell's not happy, and then Mitchell's a foul all day long. I think in the process got a wee slap in the dish from Gassama. He's not happy about it.
Yeah, he's actually marshalled him well since he came on, but that time he just got completely done. Rajedi Gassama has been brilliant for Rangers tonight. His goal that has them just one behind, and Tavernier free kick towards the near side corner flag. And there's plenty in there. Sturm Graz have everyone back. Tavernier raises the right arm in front of the Rangers fans. Here he comes, goes to the edge of the box, and Gassama onto the right foot, goes for goal, and this time he blasts it way off target and into the stands.
It's a waste for me because Gassama was in a wee bit of space at the edge of the box, but they've got 6 players lined up in there. You see Majowski saying to Tavernier just now, whip the thing in, let's go and attack it. 5 minutes of the game left.
Yeah, and Gassama could have returned it to Tavernier. He was in space as well.
Should have probably.
Who then would have had space to cross. But anyway, chance gone. 5 left. Sturm Graz 2. Rangers 1 on BBC Radio Scotland Extra. Aberdeen 3-2 down at home to Shakhtar Donetsk in the Conference League as Majowski flicks it forward for Chermiti. Geerhofer returns and then Stankovic helps it towards Aarons, who went down. Referee happy with it. Good from Mikey Moore to get away from one, and he's charging towards the back line now into Danilo, edge of the box. He gets the shot in after it broke back to him, but comfortable for Christensen, the goalkeeper.
Gets nothing behind it, does he? Mikey Moore, you're right, doing well, driving it. Sturm Graz defence, cuts inside, plays to Danilo, takes a touch, bounces up in the air and then tries the volley, but really didn't get anything behind it. That's a poor header.
Thread at the back, and Yatta tries to take it out the air and couldn't quite regather, and Tavernier cleans up. It was a messy situation there for Rangers, out for a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, Yatta could probably have done a wee bit better there. It was John Suter with a header. That's uncertainty caused panic in the Rangers defence.
Throw into Sturm Graz on the far side, and the home fans have really found their voice as they try and see their team over the line here in Graz. Rodwell intercepts. Mikey Moore gets a nudge, goes down and gets the free kick. Rangers desperate for a result here in Austria. A draw wouldn't really change the narrative too much, but they would at least emerge from the second half with credit after going in at the break 2 down. Raskan controls, gives it to Gassama on the left. Gassama still a long way to go and has to go backwards to John Suter. Suter square along the halfway line for Aarons. Away from Yatta and back to Suter in the centre circle. Raskan is screaming for it out on this near side, shakes his head because the ball goes to the left. Rodwell out to Mikey Moore. Head down, darts in field. Again, he's done well, the youngster, and eventually cleared by Sturm Graz. Rodwell carries it forward into space, then gives it to Raskan on this near side. Raskan 1-2 with Rodwell. Good play from Rangers to the corner of the area. Gassama showing for it. Raskan goes back to Tavernier. Tavernier clips it to Gassama, and he got a hand in the face there from Mitchell, but
that's one each.
And the referee is going to stop the game. I think he's not giving the free kick. I think this is a head injury.
It's never a head knock. It's basically just a
rugby handoff, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just a wee touch in the face. He given the free kick?
Oh, he has.
I'm amazed by that.
He didn't signal for it initially. But anyway, Rangers,
they'll take it.
They've got a redo from the one they had a few moments ago where Gassama blasted it over the bar, and I think we know that this one's probably going to the back post.
Yeah.
James Tavernier just a yard and a half or so in from the near touchline. Going to be an in-swinger with a right foot. Goalkeeper Christensen marshalling the troops about a couple of yards in front of the 6-yard line. Rangers with so many numbers in there. Here it comes. Tavernier hoists it to the back post when it's allowed to bounce, and it breaks him in for John Suter. What a save that is from Christensen. I've given him stick all night. He's just kept Sturm Graz's lead intact. John Suter fired it high towards the roof of the net, and he's beaten it away.
And they're looking for a handball. They're saying to the referee there was a handball in there. Of course, VAR will take a look at it. But they did not defend that situation well at all. The Sturm Graz, really poor defensive header. It breaks in the box after a ricochet. It's John Suter that hits it. I mean, it is probably more straight at the goalkeeper, but it hits it with pace. The goalkeeper's got to react, and what a save to claw it over his bar.
Corner on the far side. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1. We're in the 90th minute. Tavernier, outswinger. Stankovic this time meets it, the captain, and heads it away. Tavernier goes back to retrieve it into Mikey Moore, who's under severe pressure and uses his goalkeeper Butland as the bailout option. Still not had a view of the fourth officials board to see what stoppage time we're going to get. 30 seconds left of the 90 minutes. Suter chests it to Raskan. Scampers in field, the Belgian international. Then finds Gassama, just a heavy touch, and a crunching challenge goes in from Lavallee. The home fans like it. The referee's happy with it. and it's back with James Tavernier. Launches it from deep. Suter's up there. They're all playing centre forward now.
It's unbelievable.
Raskan, step overs. 4 added minutes at the end of this game for Rangers to try and find an equaliser. Raskan still got it somehow. Gives it to Gassama. Puts it away to Mikey Moore. Now it's Tavernier outside of the boot. Pass is a poor one, and it's going to go for a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tavernier in an ideal world would have taken a touch and got a shot away, but he was put under such quick pressure that he had to kind of scoop it away from the area that it was in, out to the right hand side. He could get no quality on the pass.
Rangers trailing by 1 goal. The Europa League, heading for consecutive defeats to start their campaign. It's something this club has not been used to in recent seasons in this competition. They have done really well. It's not been a good start, but still time. Raskan looking for Danilo, edge of the box. Well defended as Suter now tussles with Grigic. Does well, the Scotland defender. Gives it to Aarons, who fires a pass infield to Raskan, controls it, drives forward, nudges it to Gassama, left corner of the box. Gassama doubled up on, and then his pass back to Raskan is blocked by Hurdle. We've played 1 of the 4 added minutes, and in the throw-in is intercepted by Hurdle, but he only knocks it out further up the pitch. Rodwell comes across to take. Time slipping away from Rangers as Rodwell throws to Tavernier, who Grigic gets a block on it, but it breaks back for Rangers. And Tavernier, long ball, won by Suter, who's playing as centre forward. Stankovic, header. Miofsky battling but doesn't win it. Chukwani gets a foot in, trying to battle with Mikey Moore. Rangers have emerged with it. Aarons tackled, and Chukwani goes after it and wins it. And as he hit that off Rodwell, he has. Excellent from the midfielder.
Yeah, he's had a good night, is Chukwani. Really strong player out there, and that's just exactly what his team needed at that moment in time. Get the ball out of play off of Rothwell, waste another couple of minutes.
Oh, Lavallee pinged one over the top for Grigic. Flag stays down for now. Tavernier gets a good challenge in, won the ball cleanly. Excellent from Rangers captain, and now Rangers going up to Chermiti. Gearhofer defends the situation, and they just lash it up the line for territory now. Got another 2 minutes of added time left. Rangers trail by 1, 2-1 to Sturm Graz. Tavernier, no pretense of playing out from the back anymore. It's just getting it launched to the 4 strikers that are up there. One of whom is John Suter. Raskan floats it into the area, but it's a one that the goalkeeper sees from a long way out and claims it.
Yeah, it was too flat. It's got to be a better ball in than that. They didn't have the angle really for it either. Straight into the goalkeeper's hands. This will go long.
Over halfway from Christensen, it's allowed to bounce, and Grigic is battling. Tavernier controls, gets it to Danilo, who's back there, and good feet from Danilo away from Stankovic. He's into the centre circle. He's got Moore to his right and finds him. Moore jinks away from Karic, and he just took him out there. Cynical from the left back, who is booked, and we are into the final minute of this game. Rangers free kick, halfway up Sturm Graz territory, fairly central.
It's got to be a good delivery. It's going to be Butlin's going up. Right, okay. Well, they're just going to hang this up towards the back post, I think. James Tavernier.
This is probably the last chance for Rangers to salvage a point in Graz. Tavernier delivers to the back post. Suter's there, gets a header on it, but then it goes to the defender, who can clear it. Iwu, and then it's sliced into the stands by Mitchell, who almost slides on his backside, but he manages to stay on his feet. Rangers might get another chance here. Final 10 seconds. Mikey Moore, he's not got much support here. Turns away from one. Tavernier trying to get it in, does get it in. The keeper's called for it and punches it. He's done really well. It drops for Sidi Yatta, who smashes it down into Rangers half. Butlin's the only one at home. There's 2 balls on the pitch at the moment, and the referee, is he waiting for the VAR to tell him whether something's going on here or whether he can blow the full-time whistle? He has blown the full-time whistle. It is another Europa League defeat for Rangers. It is another miserable night for Russell Martin's men. They improved after the break, yes, but they left themselves far too much to do after another bleak first half in which they conceded 2 goals. The first after just 7 minutes, which came from their own throw-in when they lost the ball, and it was worked to Tommy Horvath, who lashed it at Butland. He got a touch, did not do enough to prevent it from going into the net. They were caught out on 35 minutes for the second goal. A clever free kick had Rangers defenders looking around at each other as Kitishvili went through, beat Butland in a foot race and nudged it into the bottom corner. Butland, in fairness, then had to pull off several other good saves to keep the score down. But 4 minutes after the break, Rangers made a couple of changes initially. Miofsky coming on to go 2 up front, and Gassama, who was a standout player for Rangers all night, cut in on off the left-hand side and lashed a low shot into the bottom corner to revive their hopes. They had a few chances. Cornelius had a header, it was saved. Asgard had a good chance from close range, it was also saved. And John Suter from close range was also denied by Christensen, the goalkeeper. But overall, Rangers have not done enough again. They haven't done enough all season, and the storm that is engulfing Russell Martin is not going to go away anytime soon. Full time in the Europa League. It's finished Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1.
Following